Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Mortgage Musketeer, where today we're going to be talking about, can a cosigner help you buy a home? And the easy answer is yeah, but you know nothing's going to be that easy. Intro. Alright, is getting a cosigner on a mortgage, on a home loan, a good idea? It can be, as long as everybody understands the full implications of what's going on there. So when you have a cosigner, that cosigner is just as responsible for the debt as the primary applicant. So there really is no difference between the two, because we're going to pull in all of the cosigners' debt and their credit score and their income and everything, and that's what's actually helping you qualify for the mortgage to begin with. But legally, they are on the loan and on the hook just as much as you are. So understanding that, and if you're okay with it, it is a good way to get you in a position where you can buy a home if you don't qualify currently. And most of the time, this is useful for one of two reasons. One, you have a lower credit score and maybe some things that are on your credit report that create what's called layered risk, and that layered risk is going to prevent you from being able to qualify on your own. Bringing in a cosigner can mitigate some of that risk so that it negates whatever is on your credit report and makes it look a little bit stronger in the credit profile. And that can get us an approval. The other thing is when people have a little bit too much debt or maybe not enough income, your debt to income ratio, if you're bringing in a cosigner who has a higher income and less debt, it can in the equation of your debt to income ratio, it can actually put you in a position where you can qualify with a lower combined debt to income ratio. And all of that is extremely helpful to buy a home. If you are buying a home, you also have to understand that you're going to qualify based off of the lowest credit score. So people think it's like a car loan, and it is not. All right, so when you buy a home, doesn't matter if it's a co-borrower or co-signer, we have to go off of the lowest middle score of the two of you. So even if your dad or your uncle or your grandmother or whoever's going to co-sign for this loan, if they have an 850 credit score, that's fantastic. It'll help mitigate the risk, and they're going to be the type of person that you want on the loan to do the mathematical job that we need them to do. However, we're still going to qualify off of the lowest middle score. So if you're sitting there with a 620 and they have an 850, it's a 620 credit score, and you're probably going to be going into an FHA loan. All right, so understand how that works. They're there to help you buy the home. Now, on the cosigner side, it's very important to understand the implications, because when you are a cosigner, that means that you are just as much a part of that debt as the primary applicant, and they really see no difference between the two. If there's only two people on the loan, then you have 50% responsibility. So that means if you co-sign for a loan and the primary applicant who is applying for this loan doesn't pay their mortgage on time and gets a 30-day late, that mortgage is on the co-signer's credit report as well, and it will reflect. Or if it goes into foreclosure. And the entire point of having a co-signer is to mitigate that risk. In other words, if the buyer, the primary applicant, can't afford the home anymore, if they're having issues paying, then that cosigner is essentially agreeing to step in and help ensure that the monthly payments are made on time and that the house doesn't go into foreclosure. All right, so really important to understand that people think, well, I'll just buy a home with my grandson or my daughter, and then I don't have to worry about it. They'll make the payments. Gotta pay attention to that. Now, a lot of people want to use that cosigner as a boost to get into the home, and then get to a position where they don't have a cosigner anymore, and that's great. You're going to have to do something to change the scenario that you were in when you first applied. So if you have a lower credit score, that means you're going to need to go get some type of credit repair and get your credit boosted. Or if you have a high debt to income ratio, then you're going to either need to pay off your debts, or you're going to need to increase your income, or both. Whatever it is, you're going to need to fill that gap of whatever that cosigner was filling in order to better qualify for the loan. Once you have achieved that, then you can refinance the home and refinance them off of the mortgage. And when you do that, it's going to put you in a position where you become the sole owner. But when you want to refinance, it's going to be a whole new application. You're going to have to reapply and qualify on your own with your credit score and your debt to income ratio. All right, so then the question is, what is the difference between a co-borrower and a cosigner? Well, a co-borrower is typically going to live in the home, doesn't necessarily have to because they're a non-occupying co-buyer. Non-occupying co-buyers. But you're basically, there's really no difference in the eyes of the lender because they're both going to have the same responsibilities. Although a cosigner most of the time is not going to be living in the home. Now there are situations where they are on the title, and there are situations where they're not on the title. It depends on the state and it depends on the situation of what's going on. I had one where the guy signed for his brother. Because he signed for his brother because his brother doesn't qualify. Well, now he can't buy his own home because he co-signed for the mortgage on his brother's house, and the brother doesn't make enough in order to refinance him off, so he's now stuck. So keep those things in mind when you are co-signing. And then last I'll talk about is sometimes we ask about a married couple. You know, if you have a married couple, does it make sense to either be a co-borrower or not be a co-borrower? Well, it depends. If you can carry the loan on your own, you don't necessarily need to put your spouse on the mortgage, okay, on the actual loan. So I would always think about the loan as the financing piece of it, and think of the deed or title as the ownership. In most states, well, you can always put your spouse on the title, and then they're going to have equal ownership in the house, even if they're not responsible for the debt. Now, if you're going to bring your spouse in, then same thing with a cosigner. You want to bring somebody in that can actually help. So they need to have income and they need to have good credit. So as long as they have income and credit, yeah, absolutely, you can add them on there. Okay, so hope this helps kind of break down what a cosigner can and can't do for you. It is definitely a powerful strategy if you're just trying to get into the home and your cosigner is willing to take on that responsibility. But understand the implications of being a cosigner or bringing on a cosigner, and ensure that whatever situation you're in now that is not allowing you to qualify for the home, you have to be thinking forward that you're going to mitigate whatever those issues are, and you're going to increase your credit score, or you're going to lower your debt to income ratio. All right. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. And until next time, it's all for one and one for all.